welcome to another exciting class of English.
Consistency has been a hallmark of good study habits since the 1900s. It's drilled into our heads from an early age. Have a dedicated desk, have a dedicated time, eliminate distractions. But what if almost everything we're told about how we learn is wrong? What if being inconsistent can work in our favor? For instance, could something as simple as a change in venue make a difference? Could interrupting work on a large project facilitate more inventive thinking? In the mid-1970s, a trio of psychologists performed an experiment to answer just that. They wondered what would happen if people studied the same material twice, only in two different places. To test this, they presented a group of students with a list of 40 four-letter words like ball and fork. All of the students were given 2 10-minute study sessions, but half of them studied in the same dimly lighted, cluttered room for both sessions, while the other half studied in 2 different rooms, the cluttered one and a neater, brighter one across campus. In the last phase of the experiment, researchers had the students write down as many of the study words as they could in 10 minutes. The difference in scores was striking. The one-room group recalled an average of 16 of the 40 studied words. The two-rooms group recalled 24. A simple change in venue had improved the students' memory by 40%. But it isn't just where you study or practice. How you do so is also part of the environment. Think about it. Writing notes by hand is one kind of activity. Typing them is another. The same goes for studying while standing up versus sitting down versus running on a treadmill. In the end, it doesn't matter which aspects of the environment you vary, so long as you vary what you can. Despite what traditional advice tells us, when it comes to learning, it's consistency, not change, that is limiting. So next time you need to study, to practice, or prepare for that big project, mix it up. Try another room, another time of day. Take your guitar to the park. Change coffee shops. Switch practice courts. Read in silence and with music on. Why? Because each alteration of your routine further enriches the skills being rehearsed, making them more accessible to you for a longer period of time. That's the soul of real learning, after all, to carry the skills and the knowledge with you, available when needed, no matter the environment.
This may go against a lot of what you've heard, and that's because cramming is not an effective study method for long-term retention. However, it can be very effective for tests and exams, and this is how to make it effective. First, in the minutes before the test, you should be reading through all the most important material for the exam, writing it down, and repeating it over and over in your head. This is the cramming portion. This step is a little easier if you've done some cramming the night before as well. At some point while you're cramming, the teacher will indicate that the test is about to start and you should put everything away. Do so, but continue to repeat the information in your head. Then, as soon as the teacher says begin, you furiously begin writing down everything you've been repeating in your head. Write it on the test itself or on some scratch paper. And this may be things like equations, specific dates, definitions, whatever. Write it all down before you even look at the test. Now you can start the test. And this leads us to tip number 2. Answer the easy questions first. Go through the whole test and answer the easy questions first. This is highly beneficial for 2 reasons. First, it builds your confidence by giving you several small wins right off the bat, and this confidence will carry through the test. Second, it gives you a preview of everything on the test, so your brain can start working on some of the harder problems. And this legitimately works. You know a lot more than you think you do, and if you give your brain a head start, it can find a lot of the answers you need. Tip number 3 is to review. This was always the hardest part for me. Once I finished a test, I wanted nothing more than to turn it in and be done with it. However, every time I went back through, I always found questions I had answered incorrectly, and it's usually little mistakes that are easy to fix. These are just free points waiting to be found. One way to make the review process easier is to review each page once you have finished it. This allows you to review in much smaller chunks, so it won't be so overwhelming at the end. During your review, you also want to make sure you've answered every question. This is like tip 3.5. Answer every question, even if you have no idea. As Wayne Gretzky said, you miss 100% of the questions you don't answer.